This is our opportunity to come together and talk about the organizational part, what's going on, give you a deeper update, and have questions answered. When I say us, this is your amazing Board of Trustees. Would you show them some love for being up here? Sharon Oxendine couldn't be here today. Who else are we missing? Where's Jennifer? She's here, so one of the other ones is working somewhere. She's working behind the scenes. But we always begin in prayer, so let's just take this opportunity to close our eyes. And I can still hear the words of that song. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but all that I do, the world does need. So we just still bask in that which has been created here this morning, what we create and experience together. And we realize that every creation needs a form, needs a structure. Even a sentence, words, are about a structure that holds it together to make meaning. That's what a spiritual community is. It gives structure so that we can come together and celebrate and share our gifts. And the more complex the structure, the greater its ability to do great things. And so today we take a few moments to look at this structure, this organization that we are a part of, and we tend to all the matters of the structure so that it allows us to be of service, to be an instrument. And so we give thanks for unity of the Blue Ridge, recognizing that it is certainly not the only way, but it's right here in the way that we are serving and participating. And so we give thanks for that and for all the good that flows through this. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. So we're going to do a quick overview of our you just met our board. I'm actually going to, Bobby, you want to introduce the board?
Hi, everyone. Thank you again for staying for the meeting today. You all know who I am. I'm Bobby Flowers Owenby. I'm the board president. Here we have Joe Wigner. Welcome back, Joe, right?
Yeah.
We've all missed him. Here we have Michael Winter. He is our treasurer, board treasurer. Jennifer Hastings.
Jennifer.
Gail Ray, who is our board secretary. Cheryl DeCristofaro.
Cheryl.
Michael Morano.
Michael.
And of course, Reverend Darlene. And as she said that our vice president, Sharon, is not here today. So
she had a family commitment and needed to be there. But you have an amazing board, so I wanted you to know that. We're going to take an opportunity to look at our staff with you. The names are all up here. I'm going to invite any of our staff members, if you will, come up front. They're just going to briefly introduce themselves, or some of them have a quick update about their area of ministry. But would you give our staff, we have an amazing group of people, and I use the word staff. Some of these folks are paid a teeny little stipend, and I just want you to know that they deliver an incredible amount of work, and we're still very, very proud to call them our staff. So to all of those who are listed up here today, let's give our staff an amazing... All right, Rev Gabby, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure, I'm Reverend Gabby. I'm the Youth Education Director, and our department is growing. It's growing and it's exciting, and we've got little ones, we've got the nursery open, we've got volunteers, we've got staff, we've got, a lot of good stuff going on. So it's been fun, and that's about it.
And she sings, yes.
And she sings, yes, beautifully.
Morgan and Judy, would you come on up? Oh, thank you for telling me that didn't get advanced. Morgan and Judy, would you come on up too?
Morgan's going to come up, and who else?
Judy.
Oh, Judy McCown, yes. Hi, I'm Linda Jones, Sacred Service Program Director, and I serve all the teams, and we have a lot of teams, and so...
we'll get to that
Yeah,
in a
we'll
minute.
get to that later. But anyway, I'm very grateful for all the volunteers and for their service. And we have now approximately at least 110 volunteers in this community.
Wow.
And I get to follow that. I'm Beth Beloit, and I'm the Executive Ministry Associate. And we don't exactly know what that means yet. I do a lot of things. I assist with the ministry, and I assist Reverend Darlene. And we're not here yet. Excuse me?
LUT, Licensed Unity Teacher.
Oh, licensed Unity teacher. Yes, I am that as well, a licensed Unity teacher. And I'm so happy to be here, and I so appreciate your patience and your love in allowing me to go back and forth to Georgia as I needed to as we sell the farm. So that's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Reverend Megan Goshevsky, and I work with the teens and tweens, so 6th through 12th grade. And I'm also sponsoring the Prayer Chaplain group, which is an awesome group of people who pray with us all the time. I didn't really prepare anything because I wasn't supposed to be here today. The youth and I were supposed to be in Knoxville today doing a vision quest and sweat lodge, but we all know how hot it was yesterday, and a sweat lodge in 90-something degree weather, so they postponed till October. So we're gonna figure that part out later. So anyway, it's good to see you all.
Thank you. I'm Reverend Barbara Ann. I'm the head teacher for the little ones with the children's program, and I also facilitate the women's group that meets twice a month. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Reverend Marty Stemmerman, and I'm the Finance and Facilities Director. So mostly if you have questions about just about anything, I'm the one that can answer them, and I take care of a lot of the financial aspects of the church. So, and thank you.
Let's bring it down to, we actually do have a male who works with us. If you know of others who are qualified, please send them our way.
Oh, gosh. I'm Reverend Morgan. I'm a support minister here, which means Reverend Darlene can give me anything she wants. And I can say yes or no. I've been working with the legacy team, prayer team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And here's my right-hand person.
I'm Judy McCowan. I'm a retired CPA, and I kind of oversee all the financial stuff that's going on here.
Not kind of, she does in an amazing way. Would you give your gratitude to all of them? Thank you. All right, team, you all may be seated. Thank you so much. Volunteers, Linda Jones, you want to come back just a moment and just highlight, give a shout out. Your teams are listed up here.
Thank you. Yes, okay. First impressions is one of the most important things in Unity, because the first person you see when you walk through those doors is the one you're going to remember, who greeted you, welcomed you, and made you feel comfortable. On this team, we have ushers, greeters, our whole hospitality kitchen team that works diligently for our coffees and takes care of any big events. We also have a setup takedown team. That's all those who help us to rearrange furniture, set up tables outside for our coffees and chairs, and tablecloths and so forth. And also on that team, we have people who volunteer to do the wash, because we are a green, sustainable community. So we use cloth napkins now, and we use regular dishes and so forth to save our environment. And we need people who will take home the laundry after we have a coffee or an event. And so all those volunteers, there's over 50 volunteers on that first team. Mm-hmm. Just 50, yeah, it's amazing. A wonderful group of people. We have the flower and decorating team. Jerry Conley heads that up. She's sitting right over there. And they bring such beauty. You know, when you look at those flowers, sometimes we don't even realize it, but you look at those flowers and it's inspiring. Mm-hmm. And that's what they do for us every week. Team Habitat for Unity. Joe Wigner and Chris Walsh are co-leaders on that team. wonderful team. That team has sustained and helped us throughout for many, many years to keep this building the way it is, the maintenance, fixing it up, caring for it, taking care of all the outside property. And that's what Team Habitat does, and millions of other little things that we give them a list of. Loving the Labyrinth. Yes. Our Labyrinth team, headed up by Barry Shepard, who is sitting right over here. And you know the Labyrinth, and it is so beautiful, and it is such a sacred, holy space and ground on this property. The production team. Wow.
And the prayer chaplain.
Oh, prayer chaplains, I'm sorry. Our prayer chaplains. Oh, what would we do without them? You know, in the background, always, they are holding us in sacred space. They pray for us, they care for us, and they're available to us for prayer all the time. The production team, video, sound, PowerPoint. What would we do without them? They create and make everything come alive, especially for those who aren't able to be here physically. If you're ill and at home, or if you're just living too far away. I know my daughter lives in Kansas, and she watches us every Sunday, as well as many others. Our safety and security team, oh boy, that's a powerful team. We work behind the scenes and support the board in terms of keeping this community safe and secure. And our leader is Dick Allen. He's sitting right over here. Thank God for Dick. We were down to one person, and that was Dick after COVID. So I went to Dick and I said, Dick, it's you and me, baby. And now we have 5 people on the team. So we're very grateful. And anybody that is a member and wishes to join us on that team, we would be glad to speak with you. Sacred Abundance teams. They're our legacy and keepers of the light. You'll hear more about that. This is how we fundraise or come together and support this beautiful community financially and other ways, leaving things in your will and so forth. Sustainability Green Team, Judy McCown, Jerry Conley, wonderful. And they work together to keep us thinking green, you know, thinking about our environment and how to keep this community on the right track to be environmentally safe.
We congregants are beginning to take what you taught us, and now I'm using linens in my home. So thank you for setting a good example for us to take home too.
Yes.
Teaching people to
Thank
do
you
that.
for that. Yes, because it has inspired each of us as we've been following those rules and trying to create that. All of our kitchen is set up that way, and as we're trying to do that and bring that into this community, we're also learning and taking it home. So thank you for that, Angela. Appreciate it, Angela.
Linda, thank you for being our coordinator and coordinating and leading up all this. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you. So just Beth, if you want to prepare, just a few pictures here. We had a wonderful volunteer banquet a few months ago. Just going to jump through a few pictures and show you some of the work that the different teams are doing. This Labyrinth team, we had a bunch of bulbs donated, about $500 worth of bulbs. That's a lot to plant, and that team is hands in the dirt. They have pulled weeds, watered, they have a schedule. So our Labyrinth in that butterfly garden is incredibly beautiful. There's some more pictures showing you. I love the one of Charlotte up here pointing, because we need people that can point and tell others where to put stuff too. I think, Charlotte, are you still here? She may have had to leave early. We also have a group of part of our outreach who go and pick up trash, and our green sustainability team won our for the 7th year, a Green Star Award, the highest award in Unity, the 7th year in a row. Pretty amazing. So thank you to all of our volunteers. Program update, Beth Beloy, Nova Carlton, who is usually on our live stream, couldn't be here today. But if any of you know the Mile High Church, used to be Reverend Roger Teal in Denver, Colorado area, big church, she helped with their production of live stream. We're so blessed she moved to this area, and she is now our production manager. We were able to bring her in. And so things are being elevated, and she's watching today, but this is her report. Beth is going to share a little bit about our live stream.
Well, there's so much on the report, but I'm going to give you the highlights,
Yeah.
okay? One is the average number of live stream views we have are nearly 300 per week. So that's
really is amazing.
That's pretty great. Know that Jennifer Hastings is heading up the new team to support the production department called PowerPoint Posse. So if you're willing to help, she wanted me to mention to please see Jennifer. Estella continues to be a rock star back there, taking
back
care
today,
of all kinds of wonderful things for us. And it's what she does is just orchestrates everything and knows how to operate everything from back there, from the PowerPoint to the cameras, to the sound, to everything. Nova knows how to do that, and she teaches us and creates teams so that when she isn't here, we're empowered to have church.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it, I'm thinking.
Thank you, Beth, and thank you, Nova, and that whole
Nova,
production
yes.
team in the back. There's a team called the Legacy Team. Reverend Morgan Barclay, if you want to share a brief update about that team, that would be great.
Well, I guess I'll just start with a question. What do you want your legacy to be? Mine, I want it to be that I'm known as kind and compassionate. Oh, you thought there was going to be some money involved here. There is. Anyway. So the legacy team's been working for a couple of years, and we've kind of got our act together and really feeling great about what's going on here. So basically, we're here to provide opportunities for the members of the community to create a legacy gift to Unity of the Blue Ridge, basically to provide general information. And about 10 people have already done that. That's pretty cool. Great start in our congregation. So I think that's pretty amazing. And that there's a new flyer, actually, debuting this week in the Welcome Center if you want one. It's just kind of a general piece. And let's see, who are the members? Who's here? Peter Gallup, Judy McCowan. And you stand up, you two, don't try to be shy. Okay. Yeah, Peter's been known to hand out a stick sometimes, but anyway. And of course, Michael and Reverend Darlene. I don't think they need to stand up, you know. So if you have any questions about creating a legacy, we'd be glad to try to answer them. I'll hang around after the service. Well, yes, it's in the Welcome Center. So if you want to grab that. What? And also the website has a detailed information on how to go about doing a legacy gift. So thank you.
So we just want you to be aware of that. You know, we've had people give a $100 special gift for legacy. We had a member, Lucy Perky, who put us in her will that when she passed away, her house would go to Unity of the Blue Ridge. She passed away in 2017 or 18. And at that time, what her house brought the market was, about $150,000, which served to be the seed money for our over $600,000 capital campaign. So you just never know what it will be. And so be aware that we do have that program. There's another program. Jessica had to leave with her sons, but you'll hear this. Every October, we roll out a program called Keepers of the Light. It is our stewardship program. It's sort of like National Public Radio or the television, where they have a drive once a year to do their fundraising. So in October, this is where we have a pledge program asking our members, our participants, make your financial pledge, which helps us plan for the upcoming year. So just be aware that that'll be coming, and you'll get to hear information about that. There's a whole team of people if you have questions for that. That leads us to our financial update. So would you please welcome our amazing treasurer, Michael Winter, as he shares our financial update.
I would share with you that being an amazing treasurer is a pretty easy task when you've got
Judy.
Reverend Marty who puts all the work together and Judy who reviews it and polishes it. If I'd known it was this easy, I would have volunteered years ago. And we've got a lot to celebrate. You know, attendance is up, the youth group is growing. We had 150 some people here today. That's probably a record for this year. So we're fast recovering from not having a single soul in this sanctuary for a very unbelievable period of time. And yet we're not exempt from inflation. So while our income is up, and we're up about 7% from last year through August, the end of August, and these numbers are slightly different than what you saw in the summer newsletter because that was through June 30th. These are through July 31st. Our year-to-date income is $177,353. Excuse me, that's a 7% increase. With that growth and with new services and everything else, our expenses are up too. We may be immune from taxes and tax exempt, but we're not inflation exempt. And our expenses are up about 23% this year. So year-to-date, we've got a net loss of $21,951. That is less than it was in June. We are on the mend, we're on the rebound, and summer is typically slow anyway. Our general savings is $71,528. We've got $163,000 and odd dollars in reserves. The Raise the Roof capital campaign in its bucket has 1,003, and we have $26,489 in stock investments. On the loan side, we do have an SBA loan balance. The full amount's $250,000. We accrue money every month and pay it down once a year. So you'll see first of the year that number will come down. And the Raise the Roof Camptail, I don't type well either. Camptail campaign loan balance is $10,631. That's from that $600,000 renovation that we did to the property. So I will speak to the benefits we get from this church, the gifts that we receive, and here's our opportunity to give back, and would ask everyone to look in their budget and see if they can make a gift and help us close our deficit or increase their monthly contribution. It still pales in comparison to the gifts that we receive.
And Michael, I think it's helpful to say, some of you are new and you weren't here. Raise the Roof was a 3-year capital campaign we did that, Judy, what was the totals? Over $600,000 this community raised, and we only have left to pay down $10,000. Now, the interesting thing about that is we brought in a capital campaign consultant company to work with us, to train us how to do it, and we launched it, and then COVID happened, and we literally had to lock the church and close it. The church doors were closed for over a year. The campaign consultants honestly said, good luck. We've never tried to lead anybody through a plague to raise $600,000 when your doors are closed. They said, I don't know how you're going to do it. So when you think about the fact that we kicked this off right before COVID happened, but everybody that made a pledge, and then some couldn't follow through, but then others stepped up, that we're only $10,000 away with having that paid off. Give yourself a hand. That's a miracle. So again, as Michael said, anything that you can do to help close those loans, close those gaps, that would be good. You want to talk about that?
I think
Joe Wegner.
take the lead.
Thank you. Some of the kind of neat things that we've got accomplished in the last year would include a really, really good update and renovation of the labyrinth, thanks to Barry. We've installed a new countertop out in the lobby. We've installed a new dishwasher, and there's been a lot of planting around the grounds, flowers and shrubs and so forth and so on. Also, we've done a major replacement of ceiling tiles that had been damaged during the leaky roof era. That has all been done. One big item that has yet to come about, but we will need to bring about in the very near future, is that our sanctuary lighting system, all these lights, these beautiful lights that you see here, are in trouble. Why? 25 years ago, when this system was designed, it was a state-of-the-art system, but it was based on incandescent lighting. Which, as you probably know, incandescents are no longer available.
Yeah, you can't.
The available lighting supplies these days are called LED. Our control system for all these lights will not work with LED. Consequently, we are in dire need to replace this entire system. So if anyone knows of any hotshot electricians, send them my way.
We manifested a sign language interpreter. I believe we can manifest an electrician. I'm just saying, we can. You do electrical work too? We literally, for some of the lights to come off and on, we literally have to go to the breaker box and turn them off and on. And I thought, okay, no big deal. And Joe said, Reverend Darlene, breaker boxes weren't meant to be light switches.
Well, I just have to know, as beautiful as it is outside, and you're all in here, it means a lot to all of us that you took time out of your day, because there's a lot of important stuff going on. I'll speak briefly on the security alarms. We have installed 2 panic alarms in the church, and we have a portable panic alarm, like during events, that someone, thank you. Okay. Can you hear me now? Yeah. So these alarms actually tie into our existing alarm system, which goes to a call center. Call center can call the Mills River Fire Department, Henderson County Sheriff, EMTs, whatever is needed. So that's just an extra level of security and comfort of mine. The AED, I'll just say that we ordered this AED back in December, and because the
tell them what that is.
Yes. Automated external defibrillator, and yes. And Linda is part of the safety and security team, and she is an RN, and she has volunteered to run with this, get the training that we all need to operate it, and just make this a safer community, because some of us are a little bit older, not saying that we're prone to needing it, but it's another peace of mind having that available. And Linda, also, maybe you can make mention of the...
Well, first off, we've updated our first aid kits, and we have them in the kitchen, the nursery, the youth area, and the garage. We added to them and have 3 Stop the Bleed kits for, say, something a little bit more fantastic, as someone bleeding a lot worse than you need a Band-Aid for. And those are in the garage and the youth area and the kitchen. This is a new anti-choking device. Instead of doing a Heimlich, where you're maybe breaking ribs, you can lay them on the floor. There's child and adult ones, and think of a plunger for your toilet. The suction out is what will pull it out of their mouth. We have one in the nursery area, and this one is going to be with the AED, where they're going to put it in the foyer where it can be visibly seen.
thank God we all have our gifts. Let's just say that. We all have our gifts. But in working with our insurance company, I just want you to know that we have folks behind the scenes who are keeping us up to date with things that are recommended for us to have. So would you give them a hand? That's pretty remarkable.
I just want to say thank you to all of you because like the AD, it's not inexpensive, but it's through your contributions and tiding that helps us, allows us to get these tools. So thank you all.
Thank you, Michael. There's also a new art legacy wall in the back, which Cheryl DeCristofaro and Karen Eve were a big part of that. It's in the works. It'll be a little bit bigger. But people often ask us, who did this? Who made those wings? Who put that over there? So we're going to have a place in the back that you can go and get information about that. The new wings were given this year as a gift, and you can go, and I encourage you, stand in front, have your picture taken in front of that. Bulbs for the butterfly garden was a gift. We also have had a recent gift of a campus architectural development plan, which is really going to help us, and you'll understand why that is such a gift when Jennifer Hastings presents the survey results. We had a survey that came from our Power of Focus ministry team. 58 of you responded, and Jennifer, would you please give us the highlights from that?
Certainly, thank you. Lene Harris also was instrumental in meeting with us recently, and she was not able to be here today, so I'm it. So as you can see, of the 58 responses that we did receive, most of the people who are coming to Unity every Sunday are traveling quite a good distance. So from 5 to 20 miles is the two biggest groups. And also we asked, what do you most appreciate? And why are we not surprised? Reverend Darlene's there at the top after today, right? Which leads right into that music and also leads right into the teachings of Unity principles too. So as you look at the other things that are listed, you know, it's all about community, isn't it? And how we believe. So I'll let you read those things on your own, but lots happening here. So, and as we form a marketing team, we really kind of wanted to know where is our niche and where do we want to go. So next. And then what are the standout qualities, unique characteristics, and principles, philosophies that drew you to Unity? So those of you who responded, some of your answers might certainly be up here. So at the very, very top, all races, orientations, cultures, inclusivity. Really, that's what came out loud and clear. Interfaith won't try to change my beliefs. People come from all different backgrounds. Positive messages, positive thinking, law of attraction, new thought, kind of lumped in that one. One God, we're all one with that one. Each and every one of us has the spark of the divinity within. We're born into love, not sin. Humans are inherently good. Practical tips for better living, relatable subject matter, wisdom teachings, environmental stewardship, which we just witnessed, prayer requests and opportunities to volunteer. What, 110? Gosh, what were we last year at this time? It's just amazing what's happening. And then prior to coming, what were your biggest hopes and desires attending a new spiritual community? And what if you can't read that? I know it's small. I had to print it out a little bit larger. Most are looking for a spiritual home and community of like-minded people. Lastly, everyone wants to be accepted for who we are and what we believe. And okay. These I didn't have. Okay, and if the church grounds were more developed with walking paths, meditation benches, natural art, labyrinth, picnic areas, we're talking about large pieces, art pieces maybe, would you visit here more often? And the majority of you said yes. We also talked about the Sunday service. Do you want to just talk about that? Okay, all right. So, well, why wouldn't you like the 10:30? Like, I get to sleep in, right? So, again, it didn't vary from what we're already doing. But it was good to know that, too. Does Unity of the Blue Ridge enrich? How do we enrich and impact your life? So, I'll read it, just a couple of them because they're small. Make me feel positive and about my life, helping me to become a better person, feeds my soul. I don't know how many times I read of this survey too, is all about joy. You know, that was a resounding theme. Reverend Darlene seems to know how to reach people no matter where they are on their spiritual path. The message is always memorable. That's for sure. All right. And if you could summarize Unity of the Blue Ridge in one statement, what would it be? Unity of the Blue Ridge is home, a place of acceptance, love, and spiritual growth, helps people grow spiritually, and provides a safe place to do so. Great message, music, and like-minded people. The message is always positive. A dynamic, upbeat community with a lot of potential to help me discover more of my journey into the mystic of higher consciousness through small groups. A place to deepen spiritual roots within a community of love and acceptance. Life-changing. So these are really great for people who are marketers. So these are things that we're going to kind of take with us and run. And finally, Sunday service is an uplifting experience. The message is always interesting and reminds me of who I am. It helps me to continue to grow and stay on my spiritual path. I have never been to a church where I felt so much love from day one. I found Unity found me at just the right time to shake the COVID isolation and find peace, passion, and a loving community.
So thank you all for taking the survey, and thank you for Lene, who compiled most of this, and Jennifer and Bobby, who have gone over this information as well. One of the questions that some of you ask is, when are we going to 2 services? Are we going to 2 services? And there's kind of literally a science behind it, if you will. Number one, you have to take into consideration how much can the space hold. The other thing that you measure is energy. So this Sunday, we had about 150 people, someone said. So at the beginning, January, we were tracking about 115. It's been growing, 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 growing. Here we are in August, and we've been averaging 130 to 150 now in August. Our guesstimate is that when we are consistently averaging 175 or more, now, we've pulled out chairs. Those of you that were here pre-COVID and we had 2 services, we had 225 chairs in here, and we usually had around 200 on Sunday at the big service, and then, 50 to 60 at the first service, which we call the smaller service. So you don't want to go to 2 services too soon because you divide your energy. So what you want to do is you want it to be natural and authentic. It will tell us when we begin to be bursting at the seams again, when we're at about 80%, 75 to 80% capacity, and we're retaining that, we will know that it's time to add a second service. Does that make sense? So in the meantime, we'll be, continuing to boost our offerings through the weeks and do different things, even exploring how we can use our campus, because we realize we are a destination church. That means most people come here, travel over 5 miles. You're not a neighborhood church. But we could serve the local community because we have a beautiful, unique property, and a lot of people are already coming to walk around. So we're looking at ways that we can be of more service to more people at more times, if that makes more sense. And Beth will be a big part of that, of helping, and Megan as well, as they begin to take on more responsibilities. I also just included a slide of interfaith. I wanted to shout just to show you, we did an interfaith service here earlier this year, and that was something we did locally as our community building up to the Parliament of the World Religions that I talked about today. So that was literally listed and shared with everyone that we did that. Some workshops coming up. This one has been rescheduled, but World Day of Prayer is coming up September 14th. You'll have an opportunity. Our prayer chaplains will create a beautiful space where you can come out during the day and have prayer by yourself, walk the labyrinth. There'll be others in the chapel having prayer. And then that evening at 7 o'clock, we're going to have a service of music and prayer. It's going to be a powerful service. So that is, what is the date for that? That's whatever date that says up there, September 14th, I believe. Our healing practitioner, Linda Jones, and there's a whole bunch of you that are healers, that are intuitives, that do this kind of work, that come together. They just had one. Linda, do you know the next date for September?
September 28th.
So September 28th will be the next one. Something that's new for us is Gail Ray, one of our board members, and some of you are working together to create an arts and crafts exhibit. Other churches have arts and craft exhibits around the holidays, so we're going to do that too. It'll be on October 29th, and then we have a rain date. So there's a sign-up form where you need to sign up and check off, make sure you do the things in the sign-up form, because we will have limited space, but you can see Gail if you have questions, and there's forms in the bookstore. The new choir, I think you all know about that. Choir coming very soon. The debut performance will be the weekend of our homecoming weekend, October 6, 7, 8, but rehearsals begin next Sunday. And if you would like to host a small study group, the book we're going to be using this year is by Lynn Twist. It's called A Committed Life. We're going to be provided all the study materials. We will train you. And so if you'd like to open up your home for 7 weeks, or if you'd like to facilitate in a coffee shop for 7 weeks, or at the church, or on Zoom, just fill out a form and let us know, and we'll work with you so you can have a small group. Now, as a part of that, every small group is going to come up with a creative idea of how to do some sort of service in the community. I'm going to challenge the groups for at least one of them to do the blessing wash. Remember that blessing wash I've talked about? I'll tell the groups about that. And then all the groups will have a big potluck at the end together. So this year, you do want to be a part of the group. Now, some of you have said, yeah, but I don't want to open up my home to people I don't know, but just my family and a few people, I could easily have 3 or 4. That's great. Just let us know that you're doing a group, your own group, and we'll get you the materials for that. All groups count, so we hope that you'll be doing that. Our homecoming weekend is September 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On the 6th, we'll have a concert with all of our singers around here. We kick it off that night. And then if any of you, most of you know Sharon Oxendine, who's an elder, one of our members, and then Reverend Paulette Pipe. She won the Myrtle Fillmore Award in Unity this year. She comes from England. I could hear her read the phone book and be blessed. She just has a beautiful way of communicating. She was the head of the Silent Unity prayer ministry in the whole United Kingdom for a number of years. We're bringing her in here to do a 4-hour workshop Saturday morning, and then Sharon Oxendine is doing a pipe ceremony, and I'll be building some things around all of that. That's Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll have a fabulous Sunday service with a catered lunch set up outside after. Ann Combs is going to be playing guitar music, family festivities, and word has it there may even be a donkey kissing booth. So just stay tuned for that, Ellen Winter. That's the Reverend Paulette Pike when she received the Myrtle Fillmore. She's got a beautiful story about how she had a vision of Myrtle Fillmore when she was called into ministry. So we're going to open it up. We're on time. We've got about 15 minutes left for any questions, comments. Hold 1 second, Larry. Let's get Angela. Angela and then Gary.
I'm so excited about everything that's happening here. So excited. You guys are amazing. You are amazing.
All of our musicians love you, by the way. They say, who's the lady with the hat that just cheers me on from the front row? It's Angela.
Thank you. I come from Unity of New York, and Unity of New York always taught a 4 T's class. It's a prosperity class by
Stretton Smith.
Thank you, Stretton Smith. And I wondered if there's any ideas, as we're growing our own prosperity, is there any possibility that Unity of the Blue Ridge will offer a 4 T's class?
Well, now that you mentioned it, we'll make note and absolutely can consider that. Thank you, Angela. Gary Ray.
Well, I don't know that I need the microphone. When is the weekly email newsletter going back into production?
Oh, the weekly email newsletter goes out. So somehow or another, you must have got dropped off. So we must have. Yeah, we have not stopped, and so I apologize if something happened. I have no idea what could have happened, except Reverend Christie is no longer with us. Let me just say that she did a lot of things, and so when Beth says, I don't exactly know what I do, when somebody does a job for 8 years, it's hard to know what they did. And so my guess would be that during the transition, we messed something up. So thank you for letting us know. If anybody else is not getting the newsletter, it's still going out, so just let us know. We'll get your name. Just re-sign up, and if you can't, just give us a call at the church office. Yeah, thank you for letting us know.
Thanks, Bobby. Is there anything
Will you
to
tell
be-
your name just so
Well,
we
I'm
know?
Jim Reed, Unity, the Blue Ridge member. Closer, thank you. Is there anything to be said, folks, about the status of a master plan process for our entire campus?
So we have had a gift. We literally have a team that's working with an architect right now that is looking at our whole property to help us understand how could we best utilize and maximize the use of this property. So that's underway. Pretty much all agencies like that are way backed up. They've told us it'll be sometime early next year before we get that feedback, but that's in process right now. Yeah.
Hi, Sarah Oliver. I remember listening online last year, and you all were talking about the solar project for the church, and so I was wondering what the status was of that.
Thank you, because we completely forgot that.
Thank you. I was going to make mention of that because I'm wondering as well. Bobby and Reverend Darlene, there's a couple of us on the same email thread. I'm ready to go dance on someone's desk.
And let's just back up and say, we signed the contract, we are ready to go. So the contract's been signed, the solar company's ready to go, but there's a hiccup with...
Exactly. It's with this new roof, which we know, we've been told it can support the 5,000 pounds of all those panels, but we need a stamp drawing from the engineers that designed this roof so we can go to Henderson County and Mills River and get our permits so we can start the work. And this whole process started back in the spring. Or actually this past winter. Yeah, we were told by spring we'd have solar. So the wheels are turning. We're told that there's so much building, as we all know in this area, that the engineering firm is backed up. So I think there's roughly I'm going to say 64 panels. Yep. So that whole entire roof, south-facing roof, will be covered. Yep. Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Yeah. Linda Ray. I mean, Linda Rowe.
Well,
That's
some
Linda Ray.
solar people just stopped by my house this last week and said that energy costs are going up 10% in this next year, and then smaller amounts the following years after that. So having the solar up would be very helpful for us.
Yeah, it will. Well, we've signed the contract, so hopefully join us in prayer that the red tape can get turned to glorious black tape and we move forward. Other questions or comments? And
Hi,
then you've
my
got
name is Terry.
Okay.
You had mentioned panic alarms. Where are they?
We don't share that publicly, but
okay.
the safety, the staff, the board, the safety and security team know.
Okay, very good. Just
Yeah,
curious if something happened, what would we do? Oh, leave the building.
Yeah. If panic alarms go off, go near the nearest exit and leave the building. But that's a really good question because we have trained with the sheriff's department. We've trained with our insurance company. To me, it's wisdom that you do those things, that we be up to date and we have people who are trained and know how to guide us out if something does happen. Yeah. Another Linda.
Hi. Yeah, my name's Linda. And I have a question probably for this Linda. Linda Jones. I was wondering when the healing team is going to offer the healing for the rest of us. It seems like your team is meeting just for the healers and intuitives themselves.
Thank you for your question, Linda. I know a lot of you have been praying about this and asking me. And the team at the present time has just started up again since COVID just a few months ago. And we've been gathering just to become one energy, one heart. and see where we are in terms of healing practitioners at this time. We are now up to probably 15 to 18 people attending our gatherings, and they are all healing practitioners of multiple modalities. So we're all getting to know one another, to join together, and to really hold sacred space. And we're working now towards applications and vetting and seeing and receiving from these people who wish to be practitioners, because we're very careful about who we're going to have to serve this community. So we're in the process of doing that. I would project that possibly either in December or definitely January, we'll be ready to practice. In the meantime, it's been on my heart, and I'm going to talk to Reverend Darlene about this. She doesn't know this yet. That there are some of us who have already been vetted and are, practicing practitioners for many, many years, doing Reiki and massage. And so we're going to try to be in some way offering our services at some point, either during the day here or maybe an evening, but just to have a slow beginning until we get a real team formulated. We need a core team because we have administrative work that we do, keeping everyone's files and licensure up to date. So we're working on it, I promise.
Thank you. Charlie?
Thank you.
Charlie, did you have a question?
Sure.
I'm Charlie Mazie, and I guess I'm going to have a hard time totally forming this question, but it has to do with master plan and to you in particular of 2 services. And just what we experienced today was so amazing that to ask you to do that twice in one day, I'm
It's
not
impossible.
sure that can be done. And so maybe in the long-range thinking of how we could expand things internally here, get a larger group in this space, whether it's knocking out walls so that everybody can experience that one experience that is just amazing that you do so well.
Thank you. Yeah. You've got my vote. I mean, quite frankly, my style of ministry has changed, and I'm more of an open channel. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen twice, but you're all adults. I'm not going to say it. Anyway, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen twice, but you know where I'm going with this. There's something very powerful and organic that just happens together. And then when you are used at that level, the second time, what tends to happen is it's just never the same. So we will do everything we can to maximize this space, I can assure you of that. If I could wiggle my nose and we could seat 500 people here overnight, we'd sure do it. And anything could happen. You never know. We have a lot of space up here. Yeah, I don't know. Someone wins the lottery. There you go. One of our new members, will you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Tom Gautier, and I'm a new member from the last class. Could you speak more to the specifics of the exchange of the lighting from the incandescent to the other needed, and the budget for what the equipment cost? You may already have the equipment. I don't know. You mentioned an electrician needed, but I'm sure that there's more than that. And that seems to be a priority project that needs to move forward as soon as possible.
You're exactly right. It is a priority. There's something interesting about obsolescence. Things can be technically obsolete, but not yet functionally obsolete. This is technically obsolete. We really can't keep it up anymore, but it's still functioning enough. It's hard for us to remember that it is such a priority. But it's very quickly reminding us. And so what I do know is our first thing is to get estimates. And Joe, where are we with getting estimates on that?
We are at ground zero and anxiously awaiting to get on the ball.
Yeah.
We have not done anything as of now other than patching up the problems.
Well,
in
we've
the
done
panel.
enough. You've had an electrician in
Yeah,
who
yeah.
pointed out the problem and has explained what we can't continue to do.
But your everyday electrical contractor is not really equipped to redesign a system. So that's where we have to start. As speaking to your budget, we have absolutely no idea how much money we're talking about. But that will be step one, to figure out exactly what we need, and then how much it's going to cost, and where do we go from there.
So is it safe to say that in the next 8 weeks, we can get some estimates and have a better idea soon?
I'm hopeful, but the big stumbling block is that, like I said, these type of firms are pretty few and far between.
Okay.
But we are on the hunt. So if anybody knows of any, please let me know. But I've got a few contacts that I'm following up on, and we'll see what comes out of that.
Yeah, good question. And if any of you have expertise and would be willing to help us, that would be great. Just see Joe or Michael. We've got about 3 minutes before noon, 1. Any other questions, comments? Well, let's go to Barry first.
I'm Barry Shepard, and I would like to know when you're going to start training people on using the safety equipment, and especially as a team leader that works near the garage with tools, I'd love my team to be trained soon.
Yeah, it'll be soon. That AED, that a piece of equipment we had ordered last December, and it just came in. That's how backed order.
Michael has gone over some of the paperwork. I have to start going over the paperwork, and then I'm delighted to show people, particularly like on Habitat Day or any of the administrative people. We've done a little research on perhaps CPR training, and that's something to be discussed also. Stop the Bleed kit is basically a much thicker gauze than what you find like in a Band-Aid or a 2x2. They just hung it up as you go in the individual door rather than the garage doors on the left, on the right after you go in the door. Those are hanging there.
One resource for the CPR training may be the church on 5th Street. The United Church of Christ is currently doing CPR training, and they've had that experience, so contacting them may be a foot up for you and needing more expertise, how to find it.
Thank you, Todd. Gail is taking notes.
With the Red Cross and one other body that also does CPR training and gives you the card. And I've used both of them in my nursing training via the hospital. So we have some basic information with them. And if we decide we're ready to set forth with setting up a class, I will recheck on the cost.
So if you've heard something today, if you're not on a team or if you're only on one team, maybe you just volunteer once a month. If you've heard something today, I hope it will inspire you. Join a team. The more people we have on teams, the easier it is for those teams to get that work done and get other people trained. And Linda, how many Lindas do we actually have in here today? I know of 4 right across the road. There's 8 Lindas in the church. Wow, okay, at least 8. At least 8. This Linda Jones, can help you plug into a place. I want to thank you all for your presence, for being here, this board, this staff, and just for each and every one of you. It's such an honor and a privilege for me to get to do what I do with this amazing team. Anything before we pray out? Bobby, you want to pray us out? It can be a Baptist prayer. We don't care.
Okay. Everybody, if you'll just close your eyes, take a deep breath. Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you, God, for each and every one of the individuals in this room. God, we ask now that you just be with us. Guide us with your light and your love. and show us the way you want us to go, God. All these things I ask in your name, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all.